The electricity in my apartment is victim of hate crime. I want my breakfast, so what's happening? Oh, really important question. Whoa. Maybe that's when to try to run that steals from me. Ese tipo son unos puercos, no vacilan, pero sí dan. I promised my vagina to be fun. And my vagina has a huge following. Ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They wait in line to rape me. Gross. Ew, ew. They. And when that happens, they're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. They steal my money. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They get in the way of me receiving money. Oh, 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 da un asco. Son una basura, una asquerosidad, gente. Ew, 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 ew. It is so hard. I'm turning that up again. This was NATO Interpol. Even for that one, these guys.
It's in this area. We had a patient complain the other day saying they're getting beat, bitten, all bitten up by mosquitoes.
How often does this go? At all? Are you verifying that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this could be a green site.
These people were the letter. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. My baby daddy. So it's years and engaged with people. Ew, ew, ew. I met him through my most recent memory of him when I was 8, and I saw him like, you and I still have mates together. Okay, it's against the gruperos and gruperos son heroes. Ew, I've never said like he's the best. Anything would be just a baby dad. Ew, ew, ew. He thought I was gonna cry for him porque ellos se violan entre sí mismos. Oh, that's the worst thing I need to take care of because that's why I don't talk to him for everything on puerco. And me roba mi Maserati, possibly my personal one too. He possibly has the keys of the home that I have. For polyamory for me, ideally for me and men. And if it was built, he possibly got the key from my dad. He went on to move himself with a woman every time pretending to be me. My person. That he's never getting an invite to. Oh.
Okay, so I know I do.
I don't ever want to. Even if he was my toilet when I was a toddler, he's not allowed to seek revenge against me.
So, not sure, depending on, not sure. Yeah.
He's just supposed to just live life where he can't be stealing from me or raping me. No, no. Was now the one we're gonna have a conversation with one of them in public, and there was no mention of one of them having been my toilet. I was in fact at a field day, and I walked up to a guy and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's so pretty. Will turn out to be my second cousin that hates me and is trying to kill me. What? What? What?
Sometimes you do have fungus snacks in your plants and everything, but those are.
You can give me money for my electricity bill.
Always at this wall.
They're disgusting. They're like, ay, yo quiero ver cómo ella se chupa los dedos. When I say that they're gross behind the scenes, they're gross. I'm swearing you, but you possibly witnessed it or heard it. Ew, 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 Vamos cantar. Vamos. Anyways. I'm bored. I texted Jada and Kaylani earlier. I want to talk with them. What is Christmas? Once I left me, I was supposed to be a little intercool. Yes, I was thinking because I was extremely overwhelmed. In 2017, I have been working nursery for a whole year. I didn't have any money. A girl was just like screaming at me. I've been raped by Ora Vilesio Ledesma, Michael Norman. I was in Nordstrom surrounded by leeches that he put there to terrorize me, to save my homes without my permission. That steals my vehicles, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money, mocking me that if I had been with him, I wouldn't have to have been working. So I took a trip with Jenny and Kimberly to Puerto Rico like 3 days prior to school starting. And there was an overnight like gap from San Antonio to Puerto Rico, and I was just like screaming in the airport in New Jersey. Let's just go to New York because I had my credit card. I'm like, I know I can afford a trip to New York instead of visiting Puerto Rico, but like where you just get so abused by family of origin. So I'm like telling Hey mommy, like let's just go to New York, and then I'm like whatever. And then on my way back, I like excused them from school for the first week and just come back to New York with them and actually take a vacation because visiting my parents, my siblings, and their relatives is so abusive. They're so really so. So I was, I'm like, how did? Because I was like abusing them, I wasn't abusing anywhere myself. I'm like, yeah, I was there at the airport that they just kept walking by and they're like, she's been raped so many times. And the kids and like slurping their water or what is it, cinnamon? Like waiting for the airplane, waiting for the airplane. But I'm like, I was being really loud. Let's just head to New York for a few hours. Like, it's like, no. So, nothing. I was just thinking today that people possibly heard me talk like loud. They didn't get Lonnie there, and people like were so graceful, possibly even the authorities in there for to just let me like have some moment of like not screaming because I perform self care for myself. I love myself. I love Jaden Kimani, so I don't need to be like, oh, why? Oh, why am I getting raped? And why are people taking my money? That sort of thing because in the back of my head, the FBI is very well aware of the act towards me. So I visited. I didn't book a hotel room for myself, Jenny Kanani. I just didn't have the energy. I had been working at Nordstrom nonstop, almost a year without a vacation, stressed out about money, being raped by David Ledesma. I mean, by Manuel Delicio. Recently, I think that's when I booked the trip. So I didn't even book a night stay for myself, dating Kimani, because I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, these people are trying to kill me, but at least it's Sarah, Kayla. So I'm like, I felt like a hostage. I'm like, if I stay in a hotel, I'll possibly mention it to someone what hotel I'm staying at with dating Kimani. So I said, like, I'm heading to Puerto Rico with the kids. So when I was in Puerto Rico, Marilyn invited. I stayed in Marilyn's home with Jada and Kigani. Marilyn invited Josefa, Crespo, Nereida, Galicia. My parents were there, my siblings were there, Evelyn Gilbert, Maria Angeles, and Jadiel, possibly. Jada and Kilani. I'm like, I'm just heading to church. I had plans to visit the beach the next day with Jada and Kilani, anyways. I started crying. Isabel Muñiz was there. Orlando Acevedo was there. I'm like, I owe so much money right now. I have a huge car payment that's stressing me out. And I did that speech and none of them said anything. They still wanted me to see my moves without my permission. They still wanted me to go see my moves without me. So el paso de sangre y la otra ya me implanté había la baby. Y no, ella mismo no estaba en adopción. Pero, so I left the dinner, whatever. I made sure that Jaden Kiloni, yes, Jaden Kiloni, let's head over to church. So I visited the Catholic church. I'm like, I don't want to be with my parents or my siblings or these people. These people aren't family. And not even with me crying behind the scenes. Just no one gave me my own money that day. Not even Josefa that was there. If she has money that belongs to me, they're so disgusting. They're so disgusting. You can decapitate Josefa Crespo. You can decapitate the Hades Officer son that raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of mercy and money. You can decapitate Isabel Rio, Isabel Muniz también. You can decapitate Orlando Acevedo. You can decapitate María Lorenzo Acevedo. Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate María Angelisa Lorenzo. You can decapitate Jacqueline Lorenzo Chaparro. You can decapitate homes. You can decapitate homes and businesses and me that's stealing money and getting away with it. So you're responsible for that. And for some people to try to get me to kill myself. Like, I mean, what the fuck is this? I was literally shouting the reason why I was this little for 2 years. I didn't want to visit Puerto Rico. I don't want my family of origin near me ever. They're disgusting. They're so gross. Ew. Anyways, tiene que venir para watching this thing. They've also understood that it wasn't wrong. Well, they work. Behind the scenes, they possibly raped someone else or something. Just wait for Cynthia. Just wait for Cynthia. Just wait for Cynthia. That's what they said. And Cynthia maybe like wait for me to do one. Mira, look at that. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ella se queda en mi casa sin mi permiso. Me roba mi panty nueva. Se la ponen, la dan sucia en mi casa as an act of terrorism so I can't enter my own home and get my property. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. This is one of them. There's a lot of people in my family of origin. They tried to take one hostage, like literally. And they're like, your only way out is if you kill the whoever is at the highest position of the FBI. What? Just in case. For real. I could have been shopping. I lacked self-care, so as I was dropping off Judy on me at school, and I waited until the very last day to sign them up for some reason. So scared. Like, why are you so scared of signing up dating Junani at this school? I never wait until like the very last day. So I didn't have enough money for self-care. And I kept running into these leeches. It turns out that they're all leeches que se quedan en mi casa sin mi permiso. He possibly raped some of them. Some of them think that they're better than me. No one can be better at me than me. So he profiled them to be there to terrorize me and mock the armed force. But he's not Lorenzo enough. Quite literally. El tipo es un bruto. But what does he have? The Suarez is possibly amazing or whatever his mother's last name is, that out of respect to her. I don't ever mention. Because he's not Lorenzo enough. He goes on to terrorize me inside of military bases. Eso es una vergüenza, una asquerosidad. Mocking the government. When that's not, like, también se perdió la lección that what the military does is basically educate and safeguard weapons. Porque if this exploded just because it needs someone to supervise it and someone to admire it possibly, and someone would say, wow, who invented that? I can make this pop. All the contents. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So there are firearms, tanks, airplanes that get built, and people are like, wow, brain did that. And then they get safeguarded so the stupidity doesn't get to them. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. So when you watch them on a I don't ever want that near me. You can decapitate me how many sodas it's not necessary. I'm in the room for a summer vacation reading and mom. You want to take them to Fermented. What else? 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 They think I'm not Latina. Those are extreme. In some cases, no es que es latina, es que ella ha sido violada o está falsely enamorada de él, de que se deja violar luego de tener un trabajo como secretaria, porque es secretaria makes them facilitar. They associate that secretaries are with the jefe todo el tiempo. And it gives them, like, if they, because they think as illegal prostitutes, they're like, well, if I work at a factory, I'm surrounded by so many people, and my location's gonna be known. But if I work as a secretary, on their sport, I don't ever watch that. Where the secretary gets up and is always in the doctor's face. And that sort of, yeah. And then there's that issue that one of them, Menorito, decades ago, Yolanda said she needs to be poor so she doesn't leave us and helps me educate the rest. Yolanda needs education. One of them suggested she can work as a secretary. Anyway, this is my looking. Yeah, bloqueó. Esta Lee Di Lorenzo was an outsider in a conversation that had nothing to do with her. Y ella quiere obligarme a que yo trabaje como secretaria para entonces ella escoger una profesión para ella. Those were two separate conversations. I was arranging a marriage for myself with two of my second cousins, Menorito and younger version of this was there. If that happened, and one of them said, well, she can work as a secretary. So Jeannie Generalities, Yolanda walked, if that happened, walked into the room and said, well, what's the marriage Jeannie Generalities? And this looking like the walk to the worship. So she's waiting because she was in that room while that conversation happened. So dumb. I was 3 years old and she was like 4 years old. For me to finally get a fucking secretary job. For her to pick a. Y ella se cree. Muy no, ese tipo ni mujer ni nada, un asco. I want that near me ever. That's no longer. What else? What else? We can decapitate you. We can let it be. Like a simple girl, like on a like the equivalent of a main word. Yeah, major things. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? People send her the one Pinterest and she's there around them. Ew. 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 Also, my siblings have literally tried to pick me up and sacar cualquier más como secretaria para que nosotros dos dirigiendo la lista así. No sé. I disassociated myself from them that day and then had some hair. As I got older, my dad was like, no, if he wants a tea party, like what, and he said no because he's not smart. It's like if he wants on my date, then like on a day that I have no one, then that's fine. There has no feelings for me. Porque Yolanda no has no feelings for. So I would lay down the oil and como comportarse. They're terrorists. I'm like, that's what everyone here is. Stuff for the most part. So they set them in the point that they o entonces él no fue Glorianisa porque Glorianisa no es un tea party para él, para mí. I had lost interest in him. That day that he walked up towards the reason that Eric can move it. He boom brutal. They're like my brother said no, but I said yes. Like there's no chance in the world where me. That was it. That was it. That was it. More. Since I was in three, there were no candidates near me, and these leeches tried to take me hostage. So my parents are like, "How would you like that?" I said, "My friend, whatever you call, I have money or something." They went on to lose to steal everything from me. So that's why I don't approach them because they may know that what they're going into is being me with some care. But when God we told me nice to learn from the beginning, like if I run into them, I never pay attention to them. What else? People are trying to revolve their lives around mine as if I'm in a relationship with those bitches, and that's so disturbing. Oh my God. This is make the work on my own. Estos bichos son una falta de respeto, una asquerosidad. Eso no se comporta como un hombre. Every time that you see somebody like a random or that week. having any. Some people go up and say, well, that was the one person. I'm finished they had no permission to visit me in my bedroom and wake me and knowing that I'm not still there. It's not a good thing. You're expecting permission in a relationship that doesn't exist. And with this behavior towards me, won't ever exist. Not a guarantee. What else? What else? Um, it's funny. What is this because? So I don't talk to my family over them because some of them will be like, ese fue Fernandito. Y después buscó un musulmán y terminó siendo un chino who used that fire. A lot of people in my family version real for real. We don't listen to further than a part of one has a baby. It turns out no, not libraries. No, I thought I was a thief. Yeah. Mm. Whatever. So lazy too. Oh my God, the perspective something. Oh my God, I haven't had this in a while. Oh, entonces did those teachers say, don't give her money? She bought them lady, not get her done. They're always looking for an excuse. My vagina has so many groupies, so girls. And I guess just watching and listening. It's like, I mean, lleva watching and pero no puedo decir nada antes de tenerme aquí a ver cuál de las patas primero. Luego de que diga la palabra. Hay que cortar el libro que cortarme. They're so disgusting. They're so disgusting. My point being sometimes that, well, Edgar spent a significant amount with me. I won't ever let him privately or publicly tell me that he regrets it because he stole my money so that I would be with him every day and procreate and raise children with him. But I wasn't with him every day, every Saturday night, every Sunday night. If I leave, que bendito sea Dios if I use that word, isn't even a wife and just someone that his tip of his penis were in them. Quieren reclamarme como si ella fuera mi esposa para tratar de matarme porque yo me mate de que porque ella no estuvo con ellas. Would you date? So sometimes it's like, that was my only choice. He may be upset in front of these people, but he may believe me and be like, I regret it. And then privately, I'm gonna have to say that for my mate. But I wouldn't ever date anything like this or prioritize it in real life. So that kid looked out with me. That kid looked out with me. There may have been like one or two people that he truly neglected and possibly they have trust money to travel and do things. But I don't object to any of that as long as he washes his penis. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What's terrorism here is that these people don't even seem to be like a significant other and have just been transplanted there to try to get me to kill myself. What else? Because significant other treats one with respect, not trying to rape, give me everyone that you have. Ew, 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 ew. What's next thing? I want coffee and money. That's a huge pet peeve of mine when I see them comparing. I'm like, do you want money to be dating and they love? Dice, ese criminal, tú vas a tener bebé con él, pero eso yo no lo voy a hacer a una cita. Or the other way around, these girls, the males are, yes, they may have been arranged marriages from birth. Pero why do they stick to talking to each other, hoping that they change? If one doesn't become the change, then they're never gonna change. For real, all they do is confer. They're hilarious. Because that was my baby's daddy. I'm just like listening in. I wake up on some. I'm like, oh, I never just think it too. Forget. To me, they're trying to do a version of one without a reason. They're trying to accomplish that. It's okay, this is the one that I'm very keeping on. What else? What else? What else? Saben cenar, tranquila y tranquilo. For the most part, saben solo tenedor y una cuchara. Saben network. la tienda y las clases de la escuela cuando quieran. We're so excited, so gross. That's the way up. What else? 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 Mm-hmm. I did that all the time in front of your banana. Like I killed him. He's very respectful of any of you. Fucking raise his hands and let me talk to someone. He's very respectful. Like I would some places with him and I'm like, I'm just here, like, whatever it was that I think was brand new to me. And he's like, There was never like it has to do it, like to like he things that are a part of my life. So what else? What else? I'm bored. Got a show. What's the name of that place? The Latino store on the west side. We don't want coffee from that bakery. Oh, yeah. I saw pediatrician clinic. No me digan. They play pretend now with me. Behind the scenes, they're like, if the kids had been born in San Antonio, that clinic on the west side would have been the pediatrician that she would have had for Jaden County. Ne. Porque eso no sabe hablar, da un asco. Do they like in 2025? They're like, ay, nene, si tu darling was in the young baby, allí en ese hospital she would have delivered. Hablando de mi vagina. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew. What do you know? Picnic, esa prostituye legalmente. Esto para lo de papá de ella, de que she might as well be en una esquina de ese tipo y maybe ya tú lo vas a ver. Porque tú dices que van a viajar. Wow. Imagínate si ella no vive en la esquina de ese prostituyéndose ilegalmente. She's a relative of my daughter. So if she attends the school, she's going to be fun. Pero díganle que no mucho de Beach Festival. And people say if you look at the personality, it's like Miss Goody Two Shoes here, literally like prostituta ilegal, drogadicta, que se la pasa y no le su dinero ofreciendo el culo. Doesn't know when their sex addiction goes away too. No, no, but yes, that's ridiculous. When my sex addiction goes away, I'll invite you to my room. I'm like, well, I'm rooting for you. Not that I want to be in your room, but I don't know. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What is the name of that store? That's so funny. I have a picture of it. It's the Guadalupe, right across the Guadalupe. It's the Guadalupe Latino bookstore and gift shop. What is it? Oh, I was gonna tag them. What else? What else? So they use me, some of the parents, to try to be like, nena, you can watch her in one day, no matar a nadie. What else? 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 That is, what is that? They laugh and they're like, that's her dad, that's her dad, that's her man. Like for some people, but as far as care, everyone is more for the most part with a parent that is, what is the, held accountable for one's needs, such as like housing, food. What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, my apologies to everyone in that airport in New Jersey during August 2017. That while you were on your way to your flight, I was just having a moment out loud. It didn't ignore me. Of let's go, let's go, let's go. Instead of Puerto Rico, I'm gonna head over to New York just because it says right there, New York. Like I was being gotten out dating. I was extremely tired and I stayed overnight in a hotel. I was raped. I dated this one that year and one of these therapists that lived in a city hospital. Emotional, my siblings felt something like, good job, guys. You're not taking those hands. Yes, happy to. You're so nice. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Sorry, picture here. I want to receive money today. I want to receive money today. I was saying. Oh, they think that I want when I take pictures of something embroidery that looks West Side or Latino, Oaxaca, they're gonna be like, yo no tengo nada en común con esa gente that have stolen my money and get in the way of me. So they're trying to find a connection. And I have nothing to do with them. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Even the capital remains harassment sabe me steal my money and get another person. But in Islam, arranged marriages for me with them without me having any interest in them. Or a potential one night stand. But my parents were very clear if after you safely she loses her virginity with you in those properties, you can decide if you keep the property or you go sell it and profit from the venture if you're more than willing if you want to. And I was saying that you'll be able to prostitute yourself. You could also do some option for a lot of money because people here they went on to build homes with people that they're actually attracted to, but they still hungry. What else? 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 Yeah. I think that I'm done, and I need pictures of them actually stealing from me to prove that they're stealing from me. The fact that I'm hungry and I don't have any money and I don't have a home and Jaden came on here simply with me. It means that I'm a victim of that. And a lot of people know who it is that steals from me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Over to Catholic Church. I can get money in person, just take home. If they are just good, what's that? So, I don't think it's only I am one. INTAYAYAFAY. I'm tired, so I don't find convenience. GoFundMe.com/s/IM-Lorenzo. Might that even be him messaging me? They're so disgusting. They're disgusting. They're worse than the other. They're worse than the other people. They're worse than the other people. What else? 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 Dan un asco, gente. Dan un asco. Now, if you do it right, but you know how to build relationships that way. It has to be initiated by the people whose penis and vaginas are involved in the situation. Not like, oh, they're smiling at each other, they must be married. For real. Okay, if I didn't know what sex is, I would be like, oh my god, this is like my second cousin. What else? 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 What else is in here? They think that I'm gonna post who they get a run with, and they're impressed. They're like, I'm gonna say who is Cindy left me a message to her before she killed herself. They believe this is a fake TikTok. Se mató, se murió, ya no digamos se mató y hoy no hubiese estado tan con él. What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Anyways. Well, specifically, my siblings don't put themselves out there today because they're like, what if the guy wants to? like it should be based on compatibility, and a virginal status shouldn't ever come into play. Without says that your mother didn't rub your dick while she was. If that's what you're looking for, then you may just seek legal prostitution and get yourself. Pero that doesn't have to be like un deterioro de no, porque quería una menina. ¿Y cuáles son los vírgenes con los que salía? Yo, Marita, I was in China, she missed it. Yeah, yeah. Where's the truth? That happens to what else? Sharing. Oh, they lied to people and they're like, I just saw a tag and it says, vale la pena visitarlo. It's like, Lynn couldn't be here today. Even while I'm screaming that I'm hungry and I don't have money, he's like, has 15 people fucking live in my home. It's like, but Lynn couldn't be here. Sorry, Lynn couldn't be here. Ew, they got manners and they want to pretend that they're manners. What else? What was I? What was this? Some more zero people launching it's like of course. Jag kan dekapitera henne i en sån system så här i You want to do the stress. There are no one who isn't da unas cuantas, unas cosas, unas yeah. else? What 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 else? So now they're saying that because my mother has died, they need to supervise me. This is why they don't give me money, so I'm online all the time, and they know my whereabouts 24/7. These are death penalty candidates that have me hostage of sorts, trying to get more nudes from me. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. So we're also lost in dermatology. If they were really concerned for my safety or someone's safety, they wouldn't behave this way. There's a language for that. When a person is truly so upset that needs monitoring, this isn't the way to do it either. They're stalkers. Oh, una basura en la cárcel. Ew, 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 ew. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. This cute. When I'm financially stable, plans to travel with fun and meet people ideally polyamorous. I'm excited about it. You can decapitate the decimal rate in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. You can decapitate the homeless citizens, the sons that rate me, the still minimum getting years. They steal my money and then they pay people to impersonate me. Just, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm person. He's thinking of that from different citizens, the sons that rate me, the still money and getting away from where you're saying money. What else? 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 Tipos son unos puercos. Se la maman literalmente a cualquiera. Fo. Blech. Ew, ew, ew. Then they try to kill anyone that doesn't want to be a part of their life. Ew, ew, ew. Son unos puercos. What else? 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 And you're so busy. And then my girlfriend may continue to look at relation. Even the cavity has Never leave alone for falls on never. No one's mother. Or cherry. William something like no better way than we got knows mother. You can be competent. Gloria yourself to be better than her and to keep Ramon. They're disgusting. They're trying to kill me. To be the only child. Ew, 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 ew. What else? What else? What else? What else? No, what's going on? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Inte tampoco. Wolf, 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 wolf. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. Dan un asco. You can decapitate Bejonia Sarson. Sons and investing my money and get lawyers receiving money. You can decapitate William Davis. It's a really good you can decapitate such a problem that lost my opportunity to get my political permission to be here. Within this absence of something y él se cree que yo lo voy a sacar en una cita o llevarlo al juzgado de pasión. Pero es malo, güey. They want to try to make it seem like it was my idea. Porque es desperate, está hasta aquí hasta el cuello. Well, he wants to try to get into conversation with his future. He will get through like, yeah, but because he needs everyone. Don't work on what kind of someone. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, it's disgusting. This is like an experience. Very little maybe dating oral sleep revenge. And some experience and secondary experience and it's like yes. We want to destroy your life. My family puede ser como la recuperación en un tiende. Yeah, um, I guess like, once that financial stable event to travel the planet and meet people at the only point I was excited about that. What else? I was dating, I was going. I was dating, I was going with them. Although you don't control people, I'm so sandwiches next week. There's my toes to count my head since I was like 3. That's why I want to explain. I'm trying to kill me the poster. What else? What is this? So, financially stable, I plan to travel for many people, ideally for much money. Yes, we start learning things. I love someone to the future. Into the future, just right on entrepreneur. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Just be silent. Just be silent. Yeah, they're just worshippers of my vagina. They're so gross. They look for people trying to rape me. They're disgusting. They're very disturbing. You can decode the 10 region hell that raped me in 2023. You can decode even how Minnesota Swansea says that raped me. That's the only way to get enough in their soul. They placed people in my house decades ago with the intention that they can't ever enter my home and get my money. What else? 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 Reading this. I'm looking for the libraries for the okay, I could do a road trip. I have no life other than drinking on these one of these a day I came on here. I could visit now that I know that it's just for drive-through mobile orders. I'll just I didn't hear anything. Sex to me is life. And I was born in What else is there to do? Three hours and 1,000 bus. And Flixbus that shows up. Anyways, in 4 hours I could be there. All my sibling wants me to ask my dad for permission. They disgust me, trying to remind my independence. So I multiply by his time, so that's like my sexy time with him. They're disgusting. During the same time, God is a greater instead of having second and mistake. She should ask her dad for permission that thing for really or learning second or dad's day. Okay? What an urgent what it will be as more most likely. Full. Esta impresión con la curiosidad. You can decapitate every balance available. You can decapitate Madeline balance available. You can decapitate the balance available. The one last comment. So we have what they're trying to do is control my vagina to read me or give the illusion that I have no one to have sex with. So they're trying to make themselves the option. They're disgusting. They are disgusting. They kill for its creams. Ew. Look at you, literally so many of your mask with them. Ew. 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 You can probably go to Carlos. The one was goes was not that. You can be covered in that's that's another somebody. That's because my anxiety, my depression, my loneliness, my poverty, that's not any given to be separate from me. There's some people like, eso lo que estaba buscando. No se puede llegar a hospitalizar. No se puede estar ni estar pidiendo permiso ni para salud. Son las 40, son las horas carísimas. Ew. Their sex acts so gross. Ew. 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 Que tipo tan cuerpo. Ew. You can kill everyone that stays in my house without my permission. Excuse me, I can get some mirrors and excuse me. Is that the protocol? You can take out Christina, whatever her last name is. What else? What else? You can decapitate Sophie Better. You can decapitate how many citizens it says everything for the money and everything. Enjoy this. Yeah. Yeah. Even the capital release that right me in 2017. Even the capital how many sort of things money and there's so much like every kind of sort of business too. He's still he climbed when he was 5 years old. Retirement syndrome. And they don't even want to find groupies that know nothing about me. That join them, they're so disgusting. Es so peor que una nena. People say so peor que una nena chismosa. People complain de que la nena chismosa. But so it's like, but then majority of time chismosa. ¿Cuántos años llevan ahí pidiendo comida y nadie le da dinero? They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ew, ew, ew. All the groupies that do their dirty work of telling people do not give me money, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. People that I didn't even know when I was 2 or 3 years old. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're sex addicts, drug addicts, people say. And they band together. Like, yeah. I'm rooting for you. Mira, a ver si me la posición a mí para yo violar. Da un asco. Da un asco. You can decapitate me how many slaughters on citizens that rape me, that's stealing money and getting the way of receiving. As long as I don't talk to him. As long as I don't talk to him. What else? What else? Yes, there is me. You can get me money in person. People. It's there. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. What else? What else? You can look up the time. You can give me money in person to pinpoint or buscar en the science como que estoy pensando straight to my heart. Ariel Lorenzo art shop INZAYIEFAY international. My GoFundMe campaign is GoFundMe.com/slash/slash what else? You're gonna cover this one in 2017 to 18, 2020. visited Corazon de Center so many times and I began to achieve financial stability and I wonder why. Lily's just trying to make me, she's so gross. They're disgusting. Is she still drama? Yeah. You can decapitate me, you can decapitate. They have me as well as it says that like we just steal my money and get away with everything. First thing on your self-esteem and try to make you to drug everything. If you are the delusion that you turn yourself into a drug addict yourself and then they take you hostage and turn you into a drug addict ever. They're disgusting. They're working and they don't get it still. So, mm, it's four, 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 mm, hi, Lord. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel, plan and meet people. Ideally, calling your husband. Excited. You can look out and see my happiness and 16. That was because I know making grandson turns into a sex life. Because that's why they want to see this type of information. They want to give me money. He's using me to traffic himself and raping people most likely. So he watches this and he's like, "Ooh, okay, Caitlin, virgin, listen to that lady with the gray hair. She's just a junkie. Do you want to take notes and get the divorce corner with me? Oh, they're in competition earlier. Like, do you need to be aware who acquires the most spouses? Whether they just want to call it a spouse without it being quality. But that's why they steal my money because I have the better chances of getting like true quality spouses plus some of them. So they're like their numbers like ew, ew. You can decapitate David Listen. You can decapitate David Morning for the sons. Right now, selling money and getting away with museum that I can't eat. They're in competition possibly with each other. Like you included acquire the most trust and the most people, whether it's quality or not. Yeah, what on that my I said it before. What else? 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 And we I'm trying to impress you with the number of people that get even before they even know you were born. And they're like, oh, you do something wrong here for you, just for you. 10,000. Let me read you, but I have like 20,000 people that are my spouses legit. Look at all these trusts that I receive. What else? 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 They're disgusting. Award. I'm heading over to complete charities and possibly to Bibliotech since I think it's up until 8. It's not very close. There's no electricity in the I mean, the library. I don't know the beach, but then what else? 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 Ganda cafeteria ni dyan nabili sa mga sasara. Ganda cafeteria ni dyan nabili siya. Ganda cafeteria sa Kapusto. Ganda cafeteria ng mga sa nabili. Ganda cafeteria sa nabili. Ganda cafeteria sa oras ng Kapusto. Ganda cafeteria ng mga sa oras ng Zari. They possibly all knew, like, I was in Puerto Rico. When I was overwhelmed that summer of 2017, that I traveled from Jane and Killarney to Puerto Rico, Jose and Nereida possibly were planning to me that they were this great that I didn't bring it up. And Jane and Killarney had possibly already seen those people through a year. Yeah, they're disgusting, they're so gross. They're so dumb and they couldn't find if only you could be like Christie's family does. Y él es el culpable de la asquerosidad que pasa en mi familia de origen. Y el tipo no puede ever get it. How dumb he is. The Harbor Hay, whatever they were, my twin. To me, they're non-existent. Existent. Like for real. It's like American Standard got replaced already a long time with Kohler in some homes. And then it gets switched back to, oh, American Standard has that model. What else? What else? What else? I remember one of them being told you don't have to eat her shit anymore. What else? What else? What else? What else? They may have been trying to kill them before they would kill millions of people. They learned their behaviors. And they're like, oh, Arlene believes in equality. If only Arlene and then would get a relationship. Maybe, just maybe, we could rehabilitate them. I'm no living life coach for anyone if they don't want respect me, which they don't. I don't want that in my life. Is they don't want that in me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Lord, I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? was like, there's a maternal death. So, Mariam se quedó sin bailar. My siblings took her hostage. They're like, a mother dancing as a single woman. No, then people are gonna think like you're inadequate. That's why they're divorced. I'm like, you're most likely kids of the Amorous parents. We didn't know what my finances, Hamilton. Porque ella parió María Ángel y ella estaba bailando una dulzura supuestamente. Eso es un asco, una basura, tratando de matar a su propia hija. Before María Ángel was born, porque ella lo que quería era literalmente leche en las tetas para vendérsela a él. Y a María Ángel se la vendieron también. Oh, dan un asco, gente, dan un asco. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, ew, ew. I didn't even remember that. That Gloria Luisa had gotten back to her soltera. When I called her from my apartment in Texas and was like, I'm just gonna let him know I'll dance with him. What else? What else? They held her hostage in the home's home to rape her. My dad, I, and my mother won last Sundays in my parents' home. I held the fuck cagao. Instilled so much fear into my parents and I. Then I wasn't taking myself to very alone in Aguada, Puerto Rico. He terrorized my parents to starve me, to rape me the next day. Ew. Y ellos quieren hacer actos de que they're globetrotters or shit. Literally. They're no globetrotters, they're shit. They're so disgusting. They're so disgusting. They steal my money to travel. That's no globetrotter. It's all money I can invest in so many places, my friend. Such an embarrassment. Ew, ew, ew. I don't ever want that here. What else? And then he literally threatened me to kill me if he couldn't get my mother out to date him. Like he terrorized the community by stealing my money and moving home. He says, "You're a mess. You need to die. He needs to die immediately. I don't want him alive." What if yo era la Filipina que enseñó en Southside Facebook? Like la minorita, la hija minorita. They want to create a story when my parents were Latinos when they were. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Una basura. Una asquerosidad. I don't ever want that in my name. It's April 22nd, 23rd. I'm sure everybody can everything with people. What else? ¿Cómo fue para él seguir masturbándose? People say, ew. So it's like, tú no la dejan que she's being this not in sexual. In poor Kendall. And the such. And fashion, because look at this young woman. Someone next to her out there, like, no, what I see there is that this audience of myself. And he takes the pastor surveillance against them. When I was a child, my parents had me in Wanderlust. And at the age of 2, I'm like, I don't know, stupid things. So my parents said, just tell everyone it's you, not me, guys. So they have me supposedly at the age of 2 say to everyone in the group, it's you guys, it's not me, I don't know you, you're divorced. And they told me later, me consideraron possibly masturbating to the thought of like me with people that were in that room there. So el people say que él es tan puerco que él se quedó en el cuarto ese. Y juega con las personas. Y pobre menorito que vas a ganar. Vamos a ganar, that's because that's what is, that's why. And people say, but have you noticed how that one isn't masturbating to the thought of seeing any of this? And so, as kids, tu hermano tiene un problema de ser bruto. Que todo lo que vio lo quiere seguir repitiendo. Hasta que vea Cindy por allá en España, casa de 75,000 cuadrados. So, él no tiene ningún respeto a nosotras. Porque a mí también me hace con mi madre. Dice, ay, no se supone que te están bañando. How do you all progress together? No, Kailin dice que you are wanderlust. So people say that in his head, specifically Carlitos here, we are. So people stay next to him very closely, just to hear qué ella estaría haciendo ahora con ellos, ¿no? So que yo estaría haciendo ahora con alguien si hubiésemos progresado. He's like, that wasn't your turn right now with the pajamas. And then later it's like, you were both in the middle, blah, blah. Entonces, Menorito here, como un bruto, ¿sabes? That's because that goes away with Lorenzo. Sin entender ese problema, si yo no entiendo. Vámonos, gente, vámonos. Family worship. Tenemos según eso un esposo que nos repitiendo otra vez que el menorito. Oh, that's not uncommon when parents do orgies and everyone of different ages to one wake up one day at 20 something and someone be like, you don't remember you and I used to do this all the time when you are like a baby. That's not uncommon. Pero tienes me está tratando de matar. Literalmente trying to put us in that all over again. which would be considered rape. Porque a mí yo no siento atracción por Jimmy Gennaro que se emociona nada más porque yo diga que estuvo en el mismo cuarto con ella, no me quiero sonar. Y no, yo nunca he sentido atracción por mujeres. Literally, specifically, if I remember correctly, they were like, your daughter's really in love with us, she's no longer using these people. Empezó a entrar por niños and seesaw. The way that she's looking at me, it looks like she has feelings for me. So my parents are like, si tú no vas a estar, pero no se respeta ningún niño. Time to divorce you. So, I don't know much of this. I don't know. Yeah, first day job I watched. No, nunca le acabo. People homies, what is more to say than maybe someone for in case you wonder, people have said to me, Jennifer, for God, oh, no one. God, the death penalty is 7 minutes. People have warned me. It's like, don't go on to find out que out of the three, most likely que nunca fue abusado así, es el que va a recibir death penalty por estar mocking all of us. Y estar repitiendo algo que he wasn't even a part of. Pero people say that he right. When asking him to pretend to be me, he hates me so much. my God. Y yo he matado a mi de personas. No, está tratando de que me deje a mi familia. Y no te tipo un poco. No sé. Shake my titties around and I know that everybody is even known for wearing towards themselves and someone shake their titties and didn't get arrested. They're disgusting. They're so jealous of people that shake the blow. They're like, no, 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 no. If she's willing to shake her titties like that, then she should be stripping or prostituting herself legally without body. Somebody wants to tell me, like, can you go for what? You make me so disgusting. I didn't even want to live. Ew. I didn't even want to live like myself. Fighting to live. And for the first 20 years. He wants to use it excuse if one doesn't expose himself to become brutal. They get girls without a set of grandparents have to fight to live legally. If we say everything under conscious and breaks the law with every piece of information that he's given because he wanted to be born in a family, he wanted his own sex and love and innocence, so he's trying to kill everyone. Porque we're all flawed and he's the only one that's perfect. These people in Puerto just imagine Jesus Christ. Any other comment? What else? 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 You can give me money in person to the PayPal. It's a blue sign. It's like the sign store. You can see this one. Sweet little heart. I mean, really support. Shop. I am tired of even coveting the open church. Tried to take me hostage in 2020. He took me hostage to Facebook and Messenger. People I'm just starving literally without money, and they're like, "Here's my kids." What else? 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 I'm bored. They thought that I would get a job as a secretary in the west side, on the west side. And then I thought that would be so facilitado for all. That's a benchmark for abusing some people. There may be a lot of secretaries on the west side of a place saying they bullied me tanto and I didn't know as much as she knows. The sadly, I ended up opening a place where all of the people, or specifically all these people, that abuse me. So they're like, okay, what's next? Llame al papi chulo. What's next? No la logramos. No está trabajando desde 14, no la logramos. ¿Y ahora qué? They have faces I've heard like, oh, then maybe in 30 years. We're gonna end up dating possibly his son that's trying to kill me. And everyone's not gonna I'll stay on Facebook. I'm like, I'm just dying here with this just and left me. I was like, good thing that you're going to the drug network. And he's like, you sí que tú te enteres every 5 days. We're like, oh my God, no te mates, no lo mates, se le piensa. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You know, they try to use that excuse. They're like, you don't want to risk dating because there could be someone out there that's actually going to rape you. Es una puerca asquerosa ofreciendo la vagina y el pene como si fuera. Ew, ew, that's un puerco en la basura. You can get comforted by having services. So I shared this song. I listened to it like 15 minutes of it. Pero like, para esta yo voy a estar cuando te esté escuchando. Porque estas canciones. Después continué escuchando la misma canción like, cuando se quedan sin dinero. Pues vamos a ver por quién lloro cuando publico no pasa nada. And Nita Nazario fans all the way. We confirm. Pero ¿de quién tú crees que haya descansado? Esa bitch, si yo la veo matar un día, Miriam Carrero, se la pasó diciéndole a ella por años, mira todo lo que hice, para tratar de volver contigo. This is my livelihood. And those leeches are a joke. They're so gross. Because they know my potential. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can literally take Miriam Carrero. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Muchas gracias to continue para que esté burlándose por 3 horas corridas de que yo le dije a ella en 2017. Even if it was, they're illegal prostitutes, girls. Yeah, yeah. Ella, when I was 19, she was illegally prostituting herself and was raping her. No, didn't date me because she's older than me. And it was a Charlie bar, red bottoms. Brought them to my parents' home money so that she models them for me today. ¿Usted cree que no voy a sacar a la cita o que me voy a casar con él? I got it wrong there, no. It was Antonia Picansada. That was it's like it's not Angelou. Family applications, sometimes even looking for students. A lot of things. So this I'm sure is like public knowledge to people behind the scenes. So it was when I was young. That's really oh, kind of true. And so people might be like, David, what else does she say? What the towers? But it was so funny, like some people and that person like always it would be like to some people and that person. So I was like, she said, do my kids know? Like did they get traffic with him? And he's like, let me tell you about your mother. Gabi, she has groupies of her vagina. Gabi, really? Coño, Gabi, calma. No la vas a violar. No. Es que, anyways, your mother received the message if she would be at the Twin Towers on September 11th, 2011. She would get. Then they say, Dad, I read about this on the DMs. Jada Chapman saying, your mom is. I'm like, mom was like, yes, go to New York. He's like, we won't have time to get back. There was a bus sitting there and want to pay. That sounds exciting. Come on, hurry up. It's New York for a few hours. And then come back to the airport. And you can miss the flight. It's okay. I have a credit card too. I had a credit card to keep going and some money. But I wasn't ideal. But I'm like, I don't want his dog to put the face that people steal from me, have me in the States. So I didn't leave with it for like 3 days. And then I ended up saying something to my money to continue to each one. Like, visited my parents one day and like, thank you so much, everyone. To the I'm sure would like let her speak. I'm like, you want to stop me? It was embarrassing. I did not see it. But it's a weird kind of exhaustion. Living under the poverty level is running out of money. And being a victim of theft, rape, domestic violence, abuse, and having no one really determined to. What else? You can only be very patient, but we tried. Or that was like a long line. We tried Kehlani ate at Subway tea for the first time. I was like, whoa, this bitch. But it always is, and one thing she was, and then she's like, and I had this. Oh, she had just eaten lasagna before the trip too. What else? We ate at several places that were Dunkin' was before it closed. There was a stand that was open nearby. I think it stayed near the stand, near a restaurant, and it was open 24 hours. Or very late. Even for breakfast, I think that was around from Puerto Rico. Or not morning. There was a really good breakfast place. They were hungry. They were super good too. I was planning there for worker. There's like she's just moving. I spent more than 24 hours a day for this 18 hours in bed. I'm staying to stay and pushing up in the restaurant. The restrooms. Sure to be here too. They would tell me that after doing that, I'm not qualified to stay in hotels, so didn't get me. I was extremely overwhelmed, and I have stalkers. So I had a good reason in my head, at least, to not book a hotel for myself. Didn't get money during that time. I thought I was seeking shelter at the airport with didn't get money, essentially. Running from my apartment with didn't get money. Into Puerto Rico where I'm not safe because I cried to those leeches and none of them gave me money. Like I was overwhelmed. I have a car payment now. And rent. They get me abusive towards me verbally. So I sought refuge for myself. Didn't give me a letter. They were giving me safe for the 18 hours there. I so much for like the amount of time that I was there. I walked them through, but it's nothing. I don't think about the price ever. Ever. What else? 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 What was very wrong with me to be that thing and not be able to pick up on that day? I'm like, there's so many people stalking me. Where do I stay with it? And even packing was a hassle. I was super stressed out. I had a blood transfusion in 2016. It was they do these lives and post lives all the time. Is in there like what they put it out loud, the sound, and they're like Okay, they see their search group is the parents. So they have videos where I'm like, in 2016, I had a blood transfusion. 2017, I smelled like shit at work and so overwhelmed. I was being so stoned. And I didn't have time to pack. He's like, in 2016, I was in Cabos with Margarita in Santurce. In 2016, yo me casé, tuve 3 hijos. In 2017, mocking me because he steals my money, mocking me as an influencer. Does he ask Bill Gates to step down from Microsoft all the time? He's an embarrassment. Una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, ew, ew. He tries to quite literally so gross. Ew, ew, yeah. It is.